Can you give me an idea of where the idea for the website came from? How you describe it to somebody who hasn't seen it before, and do you have such a thing as an average reader?
Absolutely. So Style Girlfriend is a daily men's lifestyle site that helps men dress better and live with more confidence, all from a friendly female perspective. So, sort of stepping in for that supportive wife or girlfriend at home that, wants to encourage you and wants you to sort of appear at your best and is invested in you doing so. The way it got started, I always like to tell people, I wish I had, could tell you that I did this competitive analysis of the digital landscape and found that a female voice was missing from menswear, but I really just fell into it. I used to work in advertising, and I was getting out of that in starting to develop a freelance writing career. So as I was taking on, all these different projects, one of the projects that I took on was writing a weekly column about guy style for a good friend of mine's company website. He had started a company that was all about making affordable suiting, and he said, I know you're trying to write more, so why don't you, write something for the site and get a little bit more exposure. And I told him, I said, I'd love to, because, I was saying yes to everything, as you should when you're sort of, just starting out. But I don't know anything about guy style. I told him, is that a problem? I don't want to, pretend that I'm this expert when I'm not. And he goes, oh no, just, write about what women like to see men wearing, on dates and things like that, and tell them to wear suits more often. So that was sort of the advice that I took to get it started. And it really helped because it allowed me to be writing from the perspective of just a fan of guys dressing well, right? I'm not an expert. I'm not ever going to lecture you on the history of tweed or anything like that, but I am going to kind of give you the shortcuts to great style and, to what women want to see you wearing. So that ended up really taking off. It felt like there was sort of a white space in the market for men who wanted to look good but weren't necessarily into, fashion with a capital F, right? Like following Fashion Week and following trends and all of that. They're just like, look, I shop, on High Street, or I shop at the mall. Like I just want to kind of get on with my day. Like what should I do? And so that's who we speak to. So we have three pretty distinct audiences within that, general umbrella definition. And that's, the first is, men, college guys who are just coming out of university that are kind of for the first time realizing like, oh, I need a proper grown up wardrobe. So what should I do? How can I do it under budget? Where do I start? So we talked to him about sort of getting your first work wardrobe put together. And the next guy is a guy who's, maybe mid-20s, early 30s, and he's really working on a beta wardrobe. He's kind of been there, done that with like building his first work wardrobe, and maybe he is realizing like, oh crap, like most of that stuff stinks and it doesn't fit well and it's, it's not good quality and what should I do? So we're helping him sort of upgrade, and it's nice because he has some more disposable income and he can afford to maybe buy brands that he hasn't worn before and really commit to investment pieces in his wardrobe. So that's really fun. And then we also cater to what I like to call as the cool dad, the man who maybe has older kids at this point, maybe they're even out of the house, and he maybe is getting teased by his kids, oh dad, you and your dad jeans, or, you're not so stylish. And he's saying, okay, well, what can I do? How can I make it easy? How can I kind of put together a uniform that I can pull on every day, but I can feel confident and I can feel stylish wearing. So it's really those three guys. And what's interesting is the advice doesn't really change. It's more kind of just the price point that changes depending on who we're talking to, because things like fit and things like quality of a garment are going to be important no matter what stage of life you're in.